Here's the horn. Final score, Fever 74, Lynx 59. And for the first time in franchise history, the Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
Everybody in the league is sick. Caitlin Clark's mic drop echoed through the locker room seconds after a battered Indiana Fever ambushed the mighty Lynx, 74-59. How did a roster missing its superstar, ditched by a veteran, and pegged as 14-point underdogs hijack the Commissioner's Cup on hostile hardwood? Indiana arrived at Target Center on borrowed hope. Caitlin Clark still sidelined with that stubborn groin, the bench already paper thin, and every pregame show flashing the same verdict: Lynx by double digits. Their flight felt shorter than the injury report. Damiris Dantas stuck in Chile on national team duty and practice jersey still hanging where veteran Dewana Bonner quit 9 games in. But that's not all. Vegas tagged them as 14-point road underdogs, analysts recycled the word embarrassment, and whispers of a fractured locker room crawled across social media faster than the team bus. Yet in that tunnel, Kelsey Mitchell mouthed, "Pressure's a privilege," and Aaliyah Boston slammed a fist against her chest as if to plug the roster holes herself. Cameras caught Natasha Howard glaring at Minnesota's warm-up dance like she wanted to cut the music. Media desks were already drafting obituaries. The Fever were scripting something else entirely.
Are trusting one another, have each other's back, playing with multiple levels of effort, discipline, energy, focus. Let's go!
Across the court, Minnesota looked untouchable. 14-2 record, reigning cup champs, Target Center packed to the rafters, and Napheesa Collier owning an MVP stat line of 25-7-5. Pre-game fireworks crackled, last year's banner unfurled, and broadcasters praised the Lynx offense for moving like a choreographed waltz. Certain Indiana would be the hapless partner tripping over its own feet. But listen to this. That same perfect offense had coughed up just 9 turnovers in 2 weeks. Yet head coach Cheryl Reeves' first clipboard note tonight read, "Beware their desperation." She sensed the crackle in the air, Kelsey Mitchell's stare, Howard's clenched jaw, as if the underdogs might storm the stage and yank the needle off the record. Crowd still chanting, lights still swirling, but the Lynx suddenly looked over their shoulders, realizing the dance floor was about to get crowded. The opening 5 minutes felt like a demolition reel. Indiana bricked 6 of its first 7 shots, coughed up 2 careless turnovers, and watched the Lynx sprint to a 17-4 lead while Target Center shook the rafters. Coach Stephanie White burned an early timeout, barked, "Pressure's a privilege," and jabbed a finger at the scoreboard as if daring her players to erase it. But it gets crazier. Out of that huddle, Kelsey Mitchell drilled back-to-back threes, Ari McDonald knifed through traffic for a hanging layup, and Natasha Howard picked Collier's pocket so clean, the arena gasped.
Because they are been consistent in the lack of calls. And right there's another one.
An 18-0 lightning bolt that flipped the script in barely 4 minutes. Minnesota's choreographed offense stalled. The crowd's roar dissolved into nervous chatter, and by the time the horn signaled quarter's end, Indiana had clawed in front 22-19. The Lynx were stunned, the Fever suddenly alive, and halftime was still 10 long minutes away. Natasha Howard seized the second quarter like a storm siren, swatting Collier's spin hook, ripping a rebound in midair, then sprinting coast to coast for an and one that silenced 18,000 fans in a heartbeat. She defended every inch of hardwood, stunting out to blitz pick and rolls, doubling back to erase layups, and forcing 5 Lynx turnovers almost single-handedly.
Battling.
This crowd is quiet. Natasha Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year, knows the ball is coming to Napheesa Collier.
But that's not all. On the other end, she morphed into a one-woman avalanche. Euro step finish, elbow jumper, 8 straight free throws that never even rattled the rim. By halftime, she piled up 12 points, 8 boards, 3 dimes, and left Collier staring at the Jumbotron for answers. Indiana's bench erupted after each highlight, the scoreboard blinked 39-31 in their favor, and the reigning champs trudged to the tunnel looking like they'd just met the league's new defensive queen. Aaliyah Boston opened the third like she'd been uncaged. Seal off in the lane, quick drop step bucket, then a laser to Sophie Cunningham for a corner 3 that detonated Indiana's bench. The ball started pinging around. Mitchell to Hull touch pass to McDonald, splash. But listen to this. While Minnesota scrambled to seal driving lanes, Boston slipped out for a pick-and-pop 15-footer, Cunningham ripped down an offensive board, and 5 straight possessions ended in points. 25 total assists by night's end, a season high. Sophie drilled her third triple, Lexi Hull dove across hardwood to save a loose ball, and the Fever suddenly led by double digits with 8 minutes left. Target Center grew so quiet you could hear Boston call for the rock, spin baseline, and hang the dagger off glass as defenders sagged in despair. Kelsey Mitchell eyed the clock with 2:42 left, snapped a step-back three over Collier, and the net barely twitched. Indiana by 13. Crowd in stunned silence.
Bucket right around the rim. How does Indiana lose Collier?
Mitchell, crafty.
The Fever smelled blood, trapping on the inbound. Mitchell slapping the floor as Natasha Howard tipped the next pass loose. It gets worse. Arie McDonald sprinted out, Shove led a no-look to Aaliyah Boston, and the rookie thundered home a two-hand finish that rattled the stanchion. Minnesota's offense dissolved into contested flings, 9 empty trips, 2 lonely points, while Indiana bled the clock with precision cuts and ice-cold free throws. Buzzer, 74-59. Confetti hissed, Howard lifted the MVP plate, and Caitlin Clark, hoodie half up on the bench, shouted, "They're all sick now!" The champs were toppled, the upset etched, and the league suddenly had a brand new problem in Indiana. Inside the locker room, it felt like a thunderstorm in a shoebox. Music at max volume, water bottles exploding into the air, and Caitlin Clark hoisting the commissioner's cup like a medieval goblet while booming those 6 dagger-sharp words. Everybody in the league is sick. Natasha Howard pounded the walls in rhythm, Sophie Cunningham crowd surf hugged the trainer, and someone live-streamed the chaos straight to TikTok. It crossed 2 million views before the confetti even stuck to the floor tiles. And here's where it spirals. Word leaked that a national network had a pre-edited Lynx Cruise to Cup repeat package sitting in the control room. Editors reportedly shredded the segment, then scrambled to splice together Indiana's miracle montage on the fly. Meanwhile, debate shows lit up. Some analysts claimed veteran resentment toward Clark's endorsement windfall is the league's worst-kept secret, while others insisted it's standard rookie hazing. Reports floated that a few rival stars muted Clark's name on social apps just to dodge the non-stop highlights. No proof, but posts from burner accounts fanned the flames all night. Coach Stephanie White met the media dripping in Gatorade and grinning, "Pressure's a privilege, and receipts are forever." Vegas took notice. Indiana's title odds sliced from 40-1 to 18-1 before dawn, the steepest single-night shift of the season. Brand managers smelled opportunity too. Mitchell's jersey sold out online, and a sneaker company DM'd Boston mid-celebration about a resilience pack colorway. Yet the Fever weren't done flexing. Damiris Dantas FaceTimed from Chile, waving a makeshift trophy fashioned out of a water jug. Rookie Michaela Timpson crashed the call wearing goggles and shouting, "Rehab or not, we're a problem." Reporters finally asked Clark how long until her groin heals. She shot back, "Soon enough for them to keep worrying." By sunrise, social feeds buzzed with split-screen memes. On one side, Clark sipping from the cup. On the other, headlines predicting Indiana's collapse just hours earlier. Pundits argued whether the upset signals a power shift or a one-off adrenaline spike, but ticket prices for the Fever's next home game tripled in a day. One truth stuck louder than any stat. A team that wasn't supposed to belong just crashed the elite circle, and they kicked the door off its hinges. Indiana Shockwave didn't just rewrite one box score, it ripped through the league's power map. Sponsors instantly recalculated ad buys, execs checked trade boards, and fan forums buzzed about a new era in Indy before the team jet even landed. Kelsey Mitchell told reporters she's tired of moral victory talk. This is the blueprint. Meanwhile, Vegas moved the Fever from fringe playoff hopefuls to legitimate conference contender, and analysts woke up combing film on a defense that just suffocated the W's cleanest offense. But it gets wilder. Rumors say TV networks are fast-tracking more national broadcasts because ratings for the Cup final spiked the moment Indiana surged ahead. Proof that grit and unpredictability sell better than any scripted narrative. Now, picture the next chapter. Clark's return slotting into an offense that just learned to thrive without her, Boston freed to abuse single coverage, and Natasha Howard anchoring a unit that's suddenly top 5 in efficiency. Opponents can't trap one star anymore. They'll be juggling firecrackers in every quarter. Coaches will preach composure, but film room whispers admit the new scouting report reads, "Pray they miss." And let's not forget Minnesota. Collier already circled the rematch, guaranteeing a different ending on social media. Translation: the rivalry just earned marquee status, and every arena they meet will buzz like a sold-out prize fight. So here's the question that should keep every contender up at night. If the Fever can dethrone champions while taped together, what storm will they unleash at full strength? Drop. I've got the Fever in the comments. Smash subscribe and punch that bell, because 2025 isn't waiting for anyone. It's charging in red hot from Indiana.
The Indiana Fever are WNBA Commissioner's Cup champions.
Everyone make some noise one more time for the 2025 Commissioner's Cup champion.